If you're interviewing, it's very likely that you get the question, tell me about yourself or walk me through your resume. It is obvious that the interviewers usually have your resume in front of them. So why are they asking these questions? Hello everyone, my name is Young and welcome to Career School. In this channel, I usually talk about career development, MBA, and interviewing with big tech companies. So if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel and like this video. So as I have talked about it in the intro, in the interview setting, you usually get the question so-called walk me through your resume or tell me about yourself question. So in this video, I wanted to go through why are interviewers asking you the question? Number two, how to actually answer these in a structured way so that you can impress your interviewers. And number three, my personal sample answer to the question, walk me through your resume or please tell me about yourself. Let's dive into the actual content. Yeah, so let's start by kind of going through what are the interviewers looking for in these questions. As I mentioned in the beginning, interviewers usually have a copy of your resume in front of them when they are interviewing you. So is it because they can't read it or is it because they're just too lazy to read them that they're asking these questions? Not really. As you may know, interviewers usually ask these questions at the beginning of the interview so that they can get a clearer understanding of how your experiences might be translated into the role they have open. They also want to know more about your career highlights and what you have done in each role that you have been working in. And I would like to emphasize that this question or answering this question is actually pretty important, as it is one of the first questions that you usually get in an interview, and it will set a tone to the interview itself on how it will end up being. Yeah, so let's jump into how to answer these questions. So when I first heard about this question, I was like, why would someone ask you this? Because they already have my resume in front of them. But it's not about just sharing your, career experience. It's about sharing who you are and what your motivation is and what your passion is. So I like to kind of break down into 4 different layers in answering these questions. Is number 1 is try to tell a story, try to tell a structured story. And number 2 is start with what matters to you. And number 3 is tell the why versus the what. And lastly, number 4 is going to be tie the last with the role that you are applying or that you are interviewing for. Yeah, so number 1 is try to tell a structured story. No one wants to listen to something that is all over the place without any structure, especially in an interview setting where there's only 30 minutes to maybe maximum 1 hour of time to share who you are with the interviewer. So think about this question as an opportunity to share your professional career experience with the interviewer so that the interviewer understands you better. And I would like to say that it should be really structured when it comes to sharing your story. That's when the second part of this whole how to answer these questions can kind of come into play. So the second one is start with what matters to you. Start by a statement that or something that kind of defines you or the choices you made. So this can be something like, hey, I'm a tech enthusiast who wants to build cool products that can change the world. Or I am passionate about learning new things, everything related to tech. Or something like, hey, my long-term goal is to become a CEO of a multinational company. Things like this will really set the tone of who you are and bring flavor to all the answers that you provide to the interviewers. I personally thought it could be really cheesy because, just telling someone about your aspiration or your passion, it's sometimes it's kind of sounds cheesy, but I feel like it really sets a tone to the whole answer and the whole interview itself so that it explains who you are better. And the third point is tell the why versus what. So as I mentioned before, all the interviewers usually have a copy of your resume right in front of them, meaning that they have all the bullet points you want to highlight within your career right in front of them. So there's no point that you go over them during these questions. Instead, what I'd like you to do is to kind of bridge the gap between whys. So why have you made the decision to, let's say, jump from company A to company B? Or why have you made the decision to become a product manager after spending so much time in engineering, for example? Or why have you decided to get an MBA in the US, for example? Like, these are the questions that someone might be curious about, but not really be able to ask you during the whole session. So I think it's really important that you focus on the whys instead of the what, because the whats usually are included in your resume anyway. So it's natural and make more sense to spend your time wisely during this answer by providing the whys versus the whats. The last point I want to make is try to tie back everything to the role that you are interviewing for. So I think I mentioned it at the beginning. Try to make this as a structured story versus a random, bullet points that you can share with people. And I think the highlight of this will be everything kind of tying back to why you are applying for this, specific role. This will be kind of explaining everything from what your passion is, and then telling all the stories that you have been through within your career, and obviously kind of tying back with the whys. And then at the end, when you are telling the person that you are, willing to take this or you want this role because of XYZ that you have already explained all throughout the whole story, is going to be flowing super naturally, and also adding much more sense to the person who are interviewing you. So for example, like when I was interviewing back in the days, like I would always start with, hey, I want to become a product manager in tech because I like building products that will change the world using technology. And I always kind of explained on what are the motivation I had and all that. And then at the end, it also kind of naturally followed with why I am applying for this role. And back in the days, I've been applying for product manager positions mainly. So like it kind of naturally flowed. So yeah, those are the 4 points that I like to give you when answering a good tell me about yourself or walk me through your resume kind of question. And yeah, at last, I am also sharing my version of please tell me about yourself when I was looking for a job about 2 years ago. So as I said, back then I was looking for product manager roles. So this is what it sounded like. Hey, thank you so much for your time today. Really appreciate it. So I am really passionate about impacting business and customer experience by working with smart people from different backgrounds. And I am really passionate about technology, and that is why I started my career as a product manager in tech industry. So at the beginning, I worked in the smartphone industry as a product manager in the mobile devices industry for 5+ years. And I've been mainly working with smartphones, PCs during that time. I started my career in this company called Pantech, where I oversaw U.S. marketing strategy and marketing execution for our product devices. And I wanted to witness more of people actually using my devices, using the devices that I own. So that's why I made the change from Pantech to Huawei, where I manage products that will be launched in the Korean market. So at the beginning, when I joined Huawei, it was only 4-member team, and I had to basically work cross-functionally, across multiple different roles because we were only a very small team, and I was involved in launching the first smartphone for the Korean market with the Huawei brand. So managed multiple projects there, including launching different smartphones, tablets, and accessories throughout the whole Korean market for different telco companies throughout my time working there for 3+ years. And then I wanted to get more of a leadership experience and manager experience. So that's why I kind of wanted to get my MBA degree where I would feel more comfortable in experimenting and kind of learning new stuff with, the brightest and the smartest all over the world. So that's when I decided to get my MBA. I just graduated from my MBA a couple months ago with concentrating in marketing operations and data. And I really am looking forward to joining Amazon to basically utilize all my experience as well as my passion of creating new products, building new products for the people for bigger business impact and customer experience. Yeah, so it's been a while since I actually used this, so it's like I'm a little rusty, so apologies there. But you get the picture. It's like start with what's my passion, and then kind of digging into why I moved from Pantech to Huawei to getting MBA, and then MBA to why, like, wanting this role, basically. So it was a product manager position, so that's why I was kind of explaining the way I did. Thank you everyone for watching this video. I know there are a lot of other content out there. If you have anything that you want specific answers to, please leave a comment into this comment section so I can answer it for you. Or if you have any content you want me to cover, please leave it as well. And please subscribe, share, like the video with your friends and all, and stay tuned for more content like this. Thank you so much.